Alright, so this video goes over what you would do if you walk up to the display and the display shows an E05, or if the display shows an E06. Okay, if you walk up to the heater and you get an E05, that's an indication that your stack flue sensor is open. If you walk up to the heater and you see E06, that's an indication that your stack flue sensor is shorted. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you have to take the heater apart. So you have a panel here that has 4 screws on it. It should have 4 screws. And then you can simply pick it up from the bottom and it will come off. There's the same panel on the back side. Once you have both the front and the back panel off, there are 4 wing nut screws or nuts that to take the top off. Try not to lose any of the screws, try not to lose any of the wing nuts. It would be nice to keep them all so that you can actually put this heater back correctly. Okay, once you have those off, this top lifts off very easily, and there's a circuit board here, and for future reference there's a bunch of LEDs over here and they're all marked. So it says HLS, AGS, so high limit, automatic gas shut off, stack flue, all types of things over here. And if you open up this board with it on, you'll see if one of these LEDs is red, then that's an indication of what might be wrong with the heater. Okay, so the easiest way now to get to the stack flue sensor is over here. This right here is your stack flue sensor. So you simply need to take a nut to take it off. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to test this to see what is going on with it. Alright, we've taken the top off, and now our stack flue sensor is over here. You'll see there's 2 wires connected to it. So what you can do is you can disconnect these wires, and you can take a volt ohm meter and you put it into the ohm position. So the funny little omega, and you'll notice that this says overload right now, which means that they're open. If I touch them together, it would make a noise and it would tell you that it's shorted. Alright, so in a case of E06, we're gonna go ahead and put our leads on here, and we're gonna find that it's actually shorted together. If you had walked up to your heater and in the display you saw E05, that indicates that your stack flue sensor is open. So if you take a multimeter and you put it on the ohms range, where you have this funky little omega, then it is going to read OL, which indicates that there is no connection and it has an infinite resistance. So therefore the stack flue sensor is open. If you walk up to your heater and you see E06, that indicates that your stack flue sensor is shorted. So if you take your multimeter and you put it on ohms, where you have the omega, you will find that you will get 0.0 ohms or something very close to it. If you actually get a resistance of roughly 3.8 mega ohms, then there is nothing wrong with your stack flue sensor. That would be the reading that you would get if it was at roughly 80 degrees. And in that case, you're going to probably want to replace the main control board, which has the display on it, because it apparently is not reading the correct stack flue temperature. Those are indications that this stack flue sensor is bad. So to remove it, you simply need to grab a wrench, and then all you do is you remove it by turning it counterclockwise. Okay, once it's removed, you can look at it, you can examine it, and of course, you can replace it. Now that I have my new stack flue sensor, I'm going to go ahead and screw it in. And you do want to tighten it, but you don't have to make it killer tight, you know, because it may have to get removed again, and you may be the person that has to remove it, and you don't want to have it seized in there and not be able to remove it. Once the new one's installed, you simply connect your wires back up. Now we can turn our heater back on. Actually, if you notice, now that we've replaced it, it still has E06 on it from being a shorted temp flue sensor. We will have to turn the power off to the heater in order to reset that error. The same is true for an E05 error. You will have to turn the power to the heater off to reset it. You turn your power back on. Wait to go through its startup phase, and now you can see that your error is gone and your problem is now fixed. Once you've installed your stack flue temperature sensor, if you are in pool mode, i.e. the green light is on over pool on, then what you can do is you can hold this down for about 5 seconds. And if you hold that down for about 5 seconds, you will see that your stack flue temperature will display up in your display box. It's now saying that my stack flue temperature is 347. If you just start the heater up, you'll see it'll start probably at 80 degrees and work its way up. If it tends to jump up and down, there is probably something wrong with your stack flue sensor. Or if it jumps immediately to 200 or 300 degrees. The maximum stack flue temperature is 480 degrees. If you do not have enough flow through the heater, it is very possible that that'll happen. And then the heater will shut off, it'll turn back on, it'll shut off, it'll turn back on. But this is a good way to check your stack flue temperature sensor, just to verify that that's not the problem. If your pool is on in spot on mode, i.e. the green light above that we're on, then you could also hold that down for 5 seconds and it would display the stack flue temperature. I hope you found this video informative. If you did, please drop us a like and especially follow us. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.